I'm 83 years old. I spent most of my life loving people quietly and being misunderstood loudly. If you've ever wondered how to know when an older woman is emotionally invested, I can tell you. I lived it, and I lost someone because he never saw it. I'm sitting at my kitchen table right now, the same one I bought in 1974. The wood is scratched, the legs wobble, but it still holds the weight of my memories. People think love in old age is simple, calm, predictable, but it isn't. It's layered, it's careful, it's full of history, and if you don't know how to read it, you might walk right past it. I want to tell you about the last man I truly loved and all the ways I tried to show him without ever saying the words. When I was young, I believed love had to be loud. I thought it had to be announced, declared, proven with grand gestures, flowers on doorsteps, rings in velvet boxes. That's what movies taught me. But life had other plans. I married at 22. His name was Harold. He was kind, steady, predictable. We raised 2 children in a yellow house on Maple Street. Every morning he drank his coffee black. Every night he folded the newspaper into neat squares. I thought that was love, or at least I thought it was enough. He passed away in 2001. Heart attack, sudden. One minute he was reaching for the salt, the next, silence. After the funeral, people kept saying, "You're so strong, Margaret." I wasn't strong, I was empty. For years I lived on autopilot. Church on Sundays, crossword puzzles in the morning, grocery shopping on Thursdays. I stopped expecting anything more. Then in 2012 I met Daniel. He moved into the apartment across from mine. Divorced, quiet. Always wore a brown jacket, even in spring. One afternoon I was struggling with a bag of oranges in the hallway. He rushed over, smiling awkwardly, and said, "Those things have a mind of their own." I laughed, really laughed. It startled me. We started talking, small things at first, weather, the broken elevator, the way pigeons owned the parking lot like it was theirs, then bigger things, our children, our losses, the nights that felt too long. I was 69 years old when I realized I could still feel nervous around someone. I didn't flirt. I didn't chase. I didn't play games. I did what older women do. I paid attention. I remembered that he liked his tea with 2 sugars. I noticed he limped slightly on rainy days. I saved articles I thought he'd enjoy. I kept the spare batteries he always forgot to buy. When his daughter stopped calling, I didn't ask questions. I made soup. That's how emotional investment looks when you've lived a long time. Not fireworks. Warmth. Steady warmth. I invited him over for dinner once a week. Nothing fancy. Meatloaf, baked chicken, steamed carrots. He always said, "You don't have to do this." And I always said, "I want to." I meant it, but I never said what I really meant. I thought he would feel it. One evening in October 2016, Daniel showed up with a bottle of wine. He looked nervous. We sat at the table, the same one I'm sitting at now, the same little chip in the corner, the same dent where my grandson once dropped a spoon. He cleared his throat. "I've been seeing someone," he said. I smiled. I smiled so well, I almost believed it myself. "That's lovely," I said. "What's her name?" "Linda." He talked about her for 10 minutes, how she was lively, how she liked traveling, how she made him feel young. I nodded, asked questions, refreshed his water. My hands didn't shake until he left. That night, I stood in my kitchen and stared at the sink, and I thought, how could he not know? How could he not see? But then another thought came. I had never told him, not once. I thought love at my age was supposed to be subtle, gentle, undemanding. I thought saying it out loud would make me look foolish. So I did what older women often do. I made myself smaller. I became quieter. I told myself I was happy for him. But inside, something was folding in on itself. Linda became real when I saw her in the hallway. She was beautiful, bright lipstick, loud laugh, full of energy. She waved at me. I waved back. Daniel stopped coming for dinner, not suddenly, gradually. Once a week became once a month. Once a month became holidays. I told myself this was normal. I told myself I was being mature. But every time I made soup, I made too much. Every time I read something interesting, I still thought of him. I kept a book he once mentioned he wanted to read for 3 years, unopened. I watched them move in together, watched them leave for trips, watched them grow closer, and I stayed quiet, because older women are taught not to want too much, not to need too much, not to ask. In 2020, Daniel called me. His voice was thinner. Linda passed away, he said. Cancer. 6 months. I went over with soup. Of course I did. We sat in silence. The same table, the same chairs. He cried. I didn't. Not then. Weeks later, he said, "You've always been so kind to me." Kind. I smiled. That word hurt more than any insult. One afternoon, he said, "I wish I had someone like you in my life." I laughed, a strange, broken sound. "You did," I said. He frowned. "What do you mean?" And for the first time, I told him, not everything, but enough. I told him I had cared, that I had waited, that I had hoped. He stared at me. "You never said anything." "I showed you," I said. He was quiet for a long time. Then he said, "I didn't know." That sentence still echoes in me. I didn't know. How many women my age have heard that? We show love by remembering, by preparing, by adjusting our lives quietly around someone else's needs. We don't shout. We soften. We make space. And too often, we disappear into that space. Daniel moved away a year later to be closer to his son. We hugged goodbye, a polite hug, the kind you give someone you once meant everything to. Now I'm 83. My hands are thinner. My hearing isn't what it used to be, but my memory is sharp. I think about all the ways I tried to love without being seen, and I wonder how many of you are missing it too. When an older woman is emotionally invested, she won't overwhelm you. She'll adapt to you. She'll remember your stories, even when you forget them. She'll rearrange her routines. She'll check on you without making it obvious. She'll show up, quietly, consistently. She won't ask for much, and that's the danger, because she deserves to be asked. She deserves to be chosen. I didn't ask to be chosen. I waited. And waiting is a heavy thing when you're old. It fills your days. I still sit at this table. Sometimes I set 2 cups instead of 1. Then I laugh at myself, and I pour the extra one down the sink. But I don't regret loving him. I regret not trusting that my heart was worth being heard. If there's someone in your life right now who loves you quietly, don't ignore it. Don't assume it'll always be there. Ask. Notice, choose. I waited a lifetime for someone to see me. You don't have to make that mistake. If this story stayed with you, carry it forward. Someone out there needs it before it's too late.